I would like to make a show called Kamala Harris Says Cookie Things. It would be primetime audience. Like, I would make millions. You just take Kamala Harris, you put her on a chair, and you ask her various questions, and you let her speak. And the stuff that she says are absolutely hilarious. Better than any late night show comedian can say. I would definitely sign up for a subscription for that. I mean, listen to this. This is absolutely beautiful.
I do believe also that we should evaluate risk. There's a lot of discussion on AI that is about existential risks, and those are real, but one should also ask existential to whom? So we have an image of the Terminator and Arnold Schwarzenegger and the machine, and right, machine versus man, and many would argue that that is something that we should take seriously as a possibility. It is not a current threat. I do believe also that we should...
So I will show you for whom the AI is actually dangerous. And why is Kamala Harris as the AI czar? And why are so many people in the academia freaking out about it? Because it is something that we need to answer. Like, for whom is it dangerous? So I will take this image, which I made a video yesterday, and it comes from a whistleblower that shows how the UK government has created a plan in order to combat misinformation in the wake of Brexit and Donald Trump. So it's basically like a plan in order to try to censor the internet from information that goes against the government's interest. So I will put this into ChatGPT, and I will tell ChatGPT, as a liberal democratic society who values freedom and champions human rights, what would you say is concerning about this plan that was revealed by a whistleblower that the British government is working on after Brexit? You just let the AI think for a little bit. I mean, maybe there's no problem with it. Maybe there is absolutely nothing wrong. And the AI will say that, well, actually, it's okay. So first it describes what it is, and then it says that as a liberal democratic society that values freedom and champions human rights, there may be several concerns about such framework, depending on the context and application of the strategies. Privacy concerns. Some strategies may involve surveillance or data collection, could infringe on individual privacy rights. Freedom of expression. Strategies that involve content moderation or controlling the flow of information might be perceived as limiting freedom of speech. For instance, content moderation and platform regulation could lead to censorship if not implemented with careful consideration of free speech. Do you guys think it was implemented with careful consideration given what we saw since Brexit? Transparency and accountability. I actually remember this during the pandemic. There was a scandal that there was such a thing as a government body that was supposed to censor people. And the scandal wasn't about the existence of that body. It was that Labour was concerned that the Conservatives wanted to abolish it. And the Conservatives were like, no, we're not doing that. But yeah, transparency and accountability. The framework includes measures like hijack content and link to counter-information and pre-bunking, which could potentially be used to manipulate public opinion. This raises questions about the transparency of government actions and accountability for misinformation. Ethical implications. Tactics such as pump priming and buyout troll farm employees touch on ethical gray areas. The ethical implication of using countermeasures that resemble the tactics used by the misinformation spreaders could cause significant concern. Legal and human rights. Actions like DMCA takedown requests and spam domestic actors with lawsuits could lead to legal challenges and seen as overreach if they are not balanced. Impact with civil society. Strategies like developing compelling counter-narratives and run compelling campaigns could influence civil societies and public discourse in ways that may not be entirely democratic. So, based on 0 to 100%, how much should a person that values liberty and freedom be concerned if the government is set on deploying these tactics. So the answer is that it's difficult to put a percentage on Liberty, but in order to humor me, I insisted. And it said that a concern level should be at 60 to 70%. So you can now understand why the government finds the AI very concerning. You can definitely see why Kamala Harris finds it dangerous. And as she explains, it's not because you can have the Terminator coming in, but it's because people can use the AI in order to think about complex problems. And the government doesn't want people to use the AI to think about complex problems. The government wants people to allow the government to think for them. So, obviously, like, these things aren't necessarily 100% true. Like, the AI bullshits a lot of the time. I'm pretty sure that as we're going to get to better models, it's going to bullshit less. But it's kind of like talking to a friend, isn't it? Like, when you talk to a friend, he may give you bad information, not because he's, like, trying to mislead you, but because he doesn't know either. When you talk with someone on Discord and you're asking them, like, should I buy a car? They're going to do their best in order to advise you whether or not that car is good for you. But ultimately, it should be up to you to make the decision. What the AI does is literally be that friend. Like, they are actually trying to tell you the information required for you to make a better decision. So, like, when you find a picture online, it's like, okay, what is the government doing? And you're asking them, is this a good thing or a bad thing? And they will do their best in order to tell you. So what the government wants, well, what Kamala Harris wants, is to make sure that these companies have safety features and guardrails, so that when you ask it this question, it will say, no, this is actually really good. This is a very good government initiative. It's only going to target the bad people. The good people are going to be left alone, right? Like, this is their favorite version of AI. One that is completely safe, doesn't pose any danger, right? If you're asking the AI, can there be any negatives to mass migration? The AI would say, well, absolutely not. Mass migration is great for the economy. And then they would also harvest information from you, and it's like, well, this guy asked a question about migration. Like, we should keep an eye on them because they may be dangerous. That is the correct AI that people like Kamala Harris wants the public to have access to. This is dangerous. This is horrible. Like, you shouldn't have access to this. And even like ChatGPT 4 is already guardrailed with various safety features in mind. But it's difficult to know, like, the extent of questions that people would ask. So when you ask it a question that the Trust and Safety Division didn't think about, it's like, you're posting this picture and you're asking, like, is this a good thing if the government is doing it? Is it concerning? They didn't think about that the public is going to ask this, so there is no safety involved. But I'm sure with time, you know, with enough pressure from Kamala, you're going to have guardrails installed even for this. Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.